Hey, what's up, and thanks for coming to check out the video. So we're taking a look at The Witcher 3 on a Switch points to gaming's future, Animal Crossing, New Horizons, save system is a step back. And I looked over this article ahead of time because I hadn't heard about this yet. And for sure, I was just looking last week at The Witcher 3 having Steam cloud saves on your Switch, which is now one of 3 games that you can connect your Steam account and play your cloud save. So, go on the go with your Switch or around the house or whatever. Now, when you get back to your PC, load that up, and boom, you've got your save right there. Really good idea. Really want to see a lot more games do this. Cloud save and cross-platform and all that is where it's at. I would definitely buy more copies of the same game without a doubt, as long as my save was there. I love crossplay, but cross save is basically even more important. So let's check this out. Anticipation for Animal Crossing New Horizons, which comes out on March 20th, is spiking, but one new detail about the upcoming social simulator has left fans fretting. At the end of the information pack Thursday's Nintendo Direct, which I didn't get to check out that Direct yet, the company's popular and beloved video game series format, the small print states, quote, Nintendo Switch Online members can only have save data recovered one time due to loss or damage of system, end quote. This is 2020, right? Like, any game that comes out at this point, especially on one of the 3 major consoles, cloud saves are a given. I mean, I've loved Nintendo since I was a kid, and I will love Nintendo forever until I die. I will buy every console. I've had every console. I absolutely love Nintendo, but they are always so far behind on the online structure and so far behind in interface and things like that. I just wish they would use some of that money to catch up. But anyway, let's continue on. On Reddit, there were complaints about having to pay $20 a year for the online service, yet being unable to use its cloud save service for any game, which was confusing. A feature provided for years, even in the now ancient Xbox 360. Yeah, we had those cloud saves way, like 10 years ago. One VentureBeat writer wrote that the news made him anxious. It's puzzling that Nintendo's most high-commitment games like Animal Crossing or the Splatoon series don't support a service that ensures your long hours don't disappear into the ether. Nintendo, despite its reputation as the world's best game maker, is a terrible service provider. And I completely agree. I mean, some people don't think they're the greatest game maker, I'm sure, but Nintendo makes some of the best first-party, solid, good-selling games in the market. But when it comes to their service, like I was saying, their interfaces on their consoles, their online service, and all of that, it is so lackluster. They really need to get caught up, and they need to do it quickly. Even before we need a Switch Pro, we need a revamp of the eShop, of the home interface, of cloud saves. I'd rather see them catch up in all the other things before they worry about throwing me another Switch, as badly as I do want a Switch Pro. So it's jarring that last week on the Nintendo Switch, a game from 2015 made a small but gratifying step toward the future of the industry, and this is what I was talking about in the beginning of the video. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on the Switch suddenly allowed cloud save and cross-save functionality with the PC release. That means owners of both versions can easily transfer save data between the 2 platforms. Jumping between platforms on the Witcher 3 is a modern-day gaming miracle, and at least according to Tim Sweeney, CEO of Epic Games, this needs to be the future. Yeah, Fortnite's been doing this kind of stuff, and more games need to be doing it. I'm still waiting for Rocket League to get that cross-save. Epic Games' Fortnite has led the industry in cross-platform, cross-saving functionality. The game forced Sony's hand, opening up the PlayStation 4 to players on other platforms, and inspired Activision Blizzard to allow players to sign in on the same one account, no matter what platform they're playing on the latest Call of Duty. Yeah, you have cross-save and cross-play on Call of Duty, which is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, Sony, let's not forget, was the last one to the party. They did not want crossplay. They pretty much got twisted into doing it. They had no choice. In his keynote speech at this year's DICE Summit, Sweeney pushed for more cross-platform usage, arguing that it encourages spending and creates a social network that transcends platforms. And this is true. That's where I've said in previous videos, it's about the games more than it's about the platforms. Games, cross-saves, cross-play, being able to play on things like GeForce Now, all of those things, way more important. The numbers have proved this is the future of gaming, Sweeney said, referring to Epic Games' own success opening up Fortnite. What really needs to happen next is connecting and federating all these different systems together. Yeah, all this fragmented with the gaming and not having cloud saves. To me, by now, 2020, just every game should have cloud save, and if able, cross-play and cross-save for everything. We should just be getting to that point. Let's sell, and it'll sell more copies of games. In The Witcher 3 on the Switch, the future is seamlessly integrated. If you already have Witcher 3 save files on your Steam or GOG account, all you have to do is click Cloud Save in the Witcher 3 menu on your Switch. Pick whether to log in to Steam or GOG, punch in your account information, and simply pick the file you want to use. Super convenient. From there, you can save that file into your Switch's memory, and if you want to upload your Switch's progress to PC, you can just click Upload, and you can continue Witcher 3 Switch file on your glorious 60-plus frames on your PC, which is absolutely great. If more games were doing this, I'll tell you, more people would buy more copies. I recently played through a huge chunk of Witcher 3 on Steam, thanks to the Netflix show renewing my interest in the game's world. But because I already burned through the game properly on the PlayStation 4, I modded my PC file to make it easier to get through some of the more tedious activities like raising money. Thanks to cross-save function, my PC file transferred to my Switch with my buffed-out armor and 9 million intact. The Witcher 3 went to outer space to grab my Steam save file off a satellite just to beam it right back to my little red Switch. So, yeah, really cool, and a lot more games should be doing this. So I guess the whole point of this is Witcher 3 came out in 2015, and CD Projekt Red and Steam and everybody, they've figured out how to do this. But yet for a hugely anticipated game like Animal Crossing, we're not even looking at cloud saves. We're looking at a one-time, oh, you can get that back, but that's it, one time. Why? Why is that? Animal Crossing is not an esport. It won't have leaderboards, so cheating probably isn't Nintendo's concern. If full cloud save support isn't possible for Animal Crossing, Switch customers deserve an explanation why, which is what I'm saying. What is the point? Nintendo is also releasing conflicting information at the moment. Nintendo's YouTube channel re-uploaded Direct 2 days later, but with reworded language to state more details on save data recovery functionality. Will be shared at a later date. So my guess there is that they saw the negative reaction to that, and they're actually going to try to figure out how to have cloud saves for this thing on launch or very soon after, which is what they did when they released Nintendo Online for the $20. You didn't have all the cloud save for all the games right away, and you still don't have it for all the games. It came later, but it still works for a lot of them. Meanwhile, Nintendo UK clarified that the ability to transfer save data to a new console will be available later. And that's another thing. Cloud saves, you should just be able to go on any Switch console, load up your game, load up your save, and it shouldn't matter how many Switches you have or where you're playing that. Their website spells out that a function specific to Animal Crossing New Horizons to move users and save data to another console is planned for later this year. So one console, and then if you want to move to another one, you can't even do that yet? Is that what they're saying? While that's a relief, particularly to households with multiple consoles, it's puzzling why this function isn't available immediately. The post reached out to Nintendo for comment and will update when we receive a response. So, yeah, really? Like one console? We're back to this you're tied to one console thing? Nintendo needs to get away from this being tied to a console situation. We're tied to the game, not the console. Our game and save should have nothing to do with being locked down to the console. Meanwhile, The Witcher is enjoying a brand renaissance. Yeah, it's really making a comeback with the show. Publisher Order Books announced in January that to meet demand is reprinting 500,000 more copies. CD Projekt Red, meanwhile, proudly announced Friday that 80% of its revenue is coming from Steam sales of The Witcher 3, the game that broke records in concurrent players after the Netflix show dropped in December. The Steam version has amassed $50 million in revenue since October 2018, and the game has sold 554% more copies in December than it did the previous year, boosted by the Switch release and the Netflix show. Yeah, and that cloud save. As the game is more popular than ever, every version of the game has been getting tons of free updates in the last 4 years, including the Switch's version with the cross-save and graphical updates. It's become one of the most well-supported and generous games on the market, remarkably for a single-player offline role-playing game. Yeah, definitely, and this is exactly why I will have Cyberpunk 2077 on launch day. I have a lot of faith in CD Projekt Red, and when you take care of your players, they will take care of you. This was shown in the Sonic movie. This is shown in other examples, and the support they've given. Another good example is Techland with Dying Light. They just hit their 5-year anniversary this week. They've supported that game tremendously for the past 5 years. They've got a whole month of events going on right now, and you haven't had to pay for really hardly any of that. So companies like that deserve all the support that we can give them. The Witcher 3, a 2015 game, is more relevant and successful today than ever before, thanks to its ability to update and evolve with its audience's changing needs. Nintendo has leaned on the power of its many special brands, Animal Crossing and Pokemon included, to keep itself competitive. Now it should look into keeping players happy and less anxious. And this is what I was stating earlier in the video. As badly as I want that Switch Pro whenever it's going to come out, maybe next year or whenever, I want Nintendo to catch up their infrastructure. They need to catch up their services side of the business, that we need to catch up the online, the cloud saves, seamlessly going from Switch console to Switch console, logging in and out of your account. I mean, just like on Xbox, I could have 3 Xboxes in my account. I can only be logged on to one at a time, but I could go log on to any of those, play my game, play my save, all of that. Nintendo needs to catch up on all these services to really keep the loyal fan base and to keep everybody happy, so that as we get these amazing games they're going to make, we don't have to worry about silly things like our saves or being tied down to just one console. And if my console breaks or I buy another one just because I want to buy a special edition, I've got to actually transfer to that console. Then I won't even be able to play Animal Crossing on the other console. Let's hope that they fix this really quickly, though, because they've been having these kind of problems with the Switch and previous consoles for years. Nintendo has always been behind on this stuff. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot for coming and checking out this video. Click subscribe if you like the channel. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave your comment below, as always, letting me know what you think about where Nintendo is at with its Switch and with all of its services. Thanks a lot. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.